Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm your host Raven Geeks, and today is finally the day we get to see the true prep of the U20 World Cup unfold. This is following the last chapter where we finally see the emotional breakdown of Nagi after being eliminated from BLUELOCK. Today is full of spectacular news and future angles and definite confirmations of the events we will see going forward. Before we continue on to the leaks, however, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button to the channel. All support is greatly appreciated for more content like this. Also, be sure to join my BLUELOCK Discord with the link left down below. Finally, you should all be wary that the leaks going forward are not officially translated. Be sure to support the official release of the chapter when it drops with the link in the description. We begin this chapter with the chairman of the JFU, who's described by the wiki as a fat, elderly man who is bald at the top of his head. Of course, this is Hirotoshi. We see him running and sliding into a room to surprise me as the reader that he could even pull that feat off, all the while celebrating in sync to his celebration to the absolute success of BLUELOCK TV as it streamed all of the matches in the new Egoist League. There were a total of 31,000 tweets about Isagi and 19,000 about Kaiser within the top trends of sports Twitter. It turns out BLUELOCK had made a whopping 78 billion yen or $500 million from broadcasting and selling out on all of their merch. Hirotoshi was announcing that only the excellent ones get rich, basically claiming all of the credit for himself. Ego follows in after, as Hirotoshi has a favour, or rather a demand to ask, and quite unsurprisingly for the money-hungry fiend, he vocalises his disappointment in Nagi's elimination and orders Ego to bring him back. Of course, Ego is fully against the idea. The environment he made wasn't to give chances to withering talents, with no further aspiration of becoming the world's best. But Hirotoshi of course doesn't care, as even if he knows absolutely nothing regarding his accolades, his popularity means profitable gain. And of course Ego, in response to this, who is true to his process, makes a stern no announced to the money-grabbing Tanuki. And cutting from that, we have Henri delivering her speech to a press conference in regards to BLUELOCK becoming the best in the world. Phase 1 selected 35 players from 300 to represent a match against the Japan U20 national team. Phase 2 narrowed them down to 23 through the new Egoist League, and now it's finally time for Phase 3, which is of course the U20 World Cup, with a record-breaking 64 confirmed countries participating, confirming these countries to be the likes of the kingdoms of football: Brazil, Germany with Michael Kaiser, France with Loki, who also stood out in the new Egoist League, then the homeland of football, England, Spain, Italy, and additionally to that, the new generation from around the world have all gathered for this event, confirming that all of the new Gen 11 players will be at this World Cup. The only goal for BLUELOCK is victory. And cutting back to Ego and the fat man chairman, Hirotoshi is giving an order for his own hypocritical remarks, how he has given Ego everything and blah blah blah. Ego of course throws this back at his face because he quits. He's building a Japanese national team to win the World Cup, having no intention of changing the 23 players he selected for that, saying how Nagi Seishiro is not needed, and he did make a shitty promise to the JFU chairman, so Ego gets to decide who he picks as the top 23 players for the U20 team, and maybe, just maybe, another player. Cutting back to the press conference, journalists are asking if this confirmation of Japan's team means that we might get to see the likes of Loki versus Rin Itoshi, and also a striker showdown between Michael Kaiser and Yoichi Isagi, along with Lorenzo and other players from the new generation of World's Best 11, and getting their matchups against the BLUELOCK 11 too, which Henri eagerly confirms and further states the U20 World Cup is essentially a global tournament for players under the age of 20, considered a junior version of the real World Cup. This confirms that a real World Cup will happen in this series. Continuing on, but this time is different, thanks to the new Egoist League and the success of BLUELOCK TV. By watching them fight evenly against world-class players in the new Egoist League, things are about to change. Japan winning the World Cup is no longer just a dream. Now, from here on, we're entering an era where dreams can become a reality. Cutting back to the binary opposition in body weight, Hirotoshi keeps threatening, firing Ego even though he already quit, and Ego declares, as he always does, to make Japan the hottest place in the football world, where the fat ass responds in kind, making it a business contest. The cut back to the press conference has Henri wrapping up her speech, and to pass it on to Isagi for a few words. We, BLUELOCK, will win. I, Yoichi Isagi, will take the U20 World Cup and make Japan the hottest place in football. Anri concludes the press conference. As her final words echo throughout the room, we see an absent Nagi in a separate location. He's in an arcade, confronting his own mistakes once again. 47 days until the U20 World Cup. The boy who acquired an ego now sees the world completely differently. That BLUELOCK is already a distant world. No break next week. To be continued in the next chapter, The Patron of Dreams. We have confirmation for the likes of Lorenzo, Kaiser, and Loki partaking in this U20 World Cup alongside the other New Gen 11 players, so Sai is certain. But where Sai will represent has yet to be decided due to his affiliation with Spain, likely giving him access to play for Spain if he so chooses, because looking up in real life rulings, what's confirmed is that players can choose not to play for their home country and represent another country, especially if they have citizenship within that country that they're wanting to play for. So don't you guys try and correct me. Look it up yourself. Another confirmation we have is of course 64 countries playing in this World Cup, which is more than any in real life World Cup has ever done, as the current highest number of participants would be 48 for the 2026 World Cup upcoming, meaning we are likely getting tables from A to P, with each table of course containing 4 players, and after the top 2 of each table qualify, this will lead to a round of 32, then a round of 16, quarterfinals of top 8, semi-finals of top 4, and the finals with the remaining last 2 teams. How far do you think Japan will go? Will they win or will they fail? Let me know down in the comments below. Along with all of that, Isagi is confirmed to be in a striker position through the eluding matchup of himself and Kaiser in the events of the U20 World Cup, and we can look forward to the reveal of all of the other new generation 11 players from other countries. Finally, we have Nagi being constantly referenced in this chapter to end off with him in the arcade. With Hirotoshi wanting him back, that explains the manga cover he has, with that Nagi coin being placed on his rusted money chain, as if he's running out of cash grabs and wants to capitalize on the still shining money making potential of the relatively famous Nagi Seishiro. What do you guys think will happen in chapter 304? People expect it once again to be another Nagi related chapter, so will Nagi return, or will his presence be gone from the story for a while? Very dark speculation is already rising in regards to what will happen to him. Thank you all so much for watching this leaked summary and analysis, and until next time, peace. Hirotoshi is a fat